Thriller films have always had a huge impact on their audiences. While many of these movies tend to shock or outright scare their viewers, others have left them completely confused. If you found yourself watching a thriller film and being forced to question just what happened, rest assured you're not alone. Today, we're going to take a look at 10 of the most confusing thriller movies ever made. So let's dive right in. Starting off at number 10, it's American Psycho. American Psycho might have entered back into the mainstream because of how memeable the character of Patrick Bateman has become, but some of us might recall seeing it back in the day and having to scratch our heads in confusion. The movie is known for having one of the most bizarre endings for a popular mainstream movie release. The movie focuses on Christian Bale's character, who has many hedonistic qualities and murderous tendencies. The final act of the movie is a complete bloodbath, where we truly get to see Bale shine. While it looks like things are up for Bateman, the movie ends on a rather ambiguous note that makes us wonder just how sane Patrick really is. It clarifies that he's an unreliable narrator and definitely makes us want to rewatch the movie to see how it changes with this newfound knowledge. Next at number 9, it's Take Shelter. 2011's Take Shelter features Michael Shannon in a role that's definitely one for the history books. Shannon portrays the character Curtis, a husband and father who's infatuated with the idea of creating a shelter for his family. Apparently, he's been having weird dreams about a storm that's headed their way. Because of this, he feels like it's better to be safe than sorry. The movie is elevated because of Shannon's amazing acting and the many layers there are to his character. Its plot is enjoyable, and where things really get confusing is the ending. It makes us question just how much truth there is to Curtis's claims. Audiences will probably double guess everything they've been shown, and it makes for an interesting but highly confusing ending. Moving on to number 8, it's Enemy. As soon as you're told that this is a Denny film, you really shouldn't be surprised to see it on this list. The director has worked on an amazing set of films, but a lot of his movies tend to be quite layered and tough to fully understand, and Enemy is no different. Enemy not only makes it clear that Denny is an amazing director, but he uses the film to show off his abilities as a story writer too. The entire movie is a study of the subconscious. It's rich with a thick, tense atmosphere, plus with an actor like Jake Gyllenhaal as the lead, you know all of these elements are going to be multiplied in terms of their effectiveness. Overall, while the movie might leave you confused, we're sure it's still going to be an unforgettable and enjoyable ride, and so we still can't help but recommend it. We should also mention Donnie Darko, which takes the number 7 spot. We just got done talking about a Jake Gyllenhaal movie, but here's another one. Donnie Darko can be described as the one role that shot him to fame. The film is about an awkward teenager who struggles with a bunch of emotional issues. After managing to survive an accident that would have otherwise claimed his life, he starts to see dreams of a weird man in a bunny costume. What's worse? This bunny tells him about the end of the world, which is apparently quickly approaching. If you're already confused, you're not alone. The movie is so complicated that most viewers still claim to this day that it doesn't make any sense. The film does have a director's cut that helps to cover some of the gaps that might exist in the movie's logic. It's safe to say, though, the original version of the movie is easily one of the most confusing films we've ever seen. Next at number 6, it's The Lighthouse. Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe were definitely an amazing, although slightly confusing, sight to see in The Lighthouse. The film revolves around two lighthouse keepers who have a unique dynamic. The two get stuck together in close quarters during a very long storm that's raging outside. The narrative of the genre can't really be confined to any one thing. This by itself should tell you everything you need to know about just how confusing it can get. The basic premise is elevated by its metaphorical nature, and while film buffs might find this super artistic and intriguing, most viewers just think that it's frustrating. Most of the scenes in the movie have us asking more questions than getting answers. And with many layers and themes all mixing together into a single story, this easily ranks as one of the most confusing visual experiences out there. At number 5, we've got Mother. 2017's Mother comes to us straight from the mind of Darren Aronofsky. If there's anything you know about the guy, it's that he's kind of controversial. And much of this is because of his unique direction directorial style that often takes over the entire project he's working on. He's known for his direct approach to filmmaking that doesn't really leave much room for subtlety, and Mother keeps this style front and center. The movie stars Jennifer Lawrence as the main character and is almost entirely metaphorical. Because of this, there are many interpretations for it, and people still argue over what it was really about to this day. Some think that it calls out male ego, while others argue that it's actually an allegory for the Bible. Either way, it really comes down to what the viewer draws from it, and because of this, many people who've seen it have walked out a tad bit confused. Plus, at number 4, it's Memento. Memento is a thrilling film directed by none other than Christopher Nolan. The movie more or less skyrocketed his career, and so it definitely deserves a place on this list. Despite how brilliant it is, it's easily one of the more confusing of his creations. The movie is about a man suffering from amnesia who's tasked with searching for the killer of his own wife. The premise by itself opens the door for endless confusion for both the audience and the main character himself. What makes it all the more amazing is Pierce's great performance and the fact that the movie's narrative doesn't play out in a linear fashion. All of this means that the final result is undoubtedly amazing, but it's also super confusing. If you felt the need to watch a YouTube video much like ours after finishing this movie, we wouldn't really blame you. On number 3, it's The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Yorgos Lanthimos, like many other directors on this list, has made a name for himself due to his unique take on storytelling and directing. His films aren't a bundle of joy and fun, but still manage to feel rewarding and entertaining. The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which stars Colin Farrell, definitely falls in this category. The movie is about a cardiac surgeon whose family begins to get sick after a mysterious young man enters his life. The film doesn't go light on the symbolism and has a bunch of unsettling themes that are sure to make you feel a tad bit uncomfortable. Plus, it's super heavy on the psychological elements, which makes it a very confusing experience too. At number 2, we've got Zodiac. David Fincher's Zodiac can rightfully be called a masterpiece. The movie is often said to be the best work he's ever made. It's about a manhunt for the infamous Zodiac killer and focuses on the character Robert Graysmith, who's been after the guy for decades. The movie's premise is fairly straightforward, but what makes it confusing is Graysmith's character. The movie dives deep into his obsession with the case. The fact that it's still unsolved in real life also helps to make his obsession believable. In the movie, while they do provide a compelling theory, the movie doesn't really have a proper answer as to just who the killer might be. Finally, at our number 1 spot is Les Diaboliques. Of course, a French movie had to make the top of our list. Les Diaboliques is about a woman who worked with her husband's mistress to kill him. The movie offers a touch of both horror and thriller, and has some of the most memorable scenes we've ever gotten in cinema. The movie manages to remain one of the most confusing thrillers even after all these years, and this is largely due to its final scene that makes audiences question everything that's played out in front of them. The movie cemented the fact that thriller movies are more or less defined by their endings. A lot of times these endings come with surprise twists that leave us scratching our heads, and Les Diaboliques showcases this perfectly. To this day, it both scares and confuses fans of the thriller genre, and because of that, we definitely think it's deserving of its number 1 spot. That's a wrap for this video. Which of these thriller movies do you think had the ending that left fans the most confused? Comment below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.